Jesus, the perfect sacrifice, Jesus, the spotless Lamb, Jesus who pleads for me in heaven, unworthy as I am, unworthy as I am, I bow down to you, giving you my life. I bow down to you, merciful Lord.
What would the world be like without those who care? Without those who, in the name of Christ, work to better our world and the lives of each one of us? In a time where it seems that many have become solely concerned with personal gain and success, the Ursuline Sisters of Youngstown work against the grain and devote their lives to bettering communities around the world, serving God and living the gospel. While the Ursuline Sisters of Youngstown were founded in 1874, their story begins with their foundress, Angela Merici, who began her work in Italy in 1535.
One of the challenges to her followers was that whatever you do, whatever God calls you to do, we need to look at what are the needs of the times and to address and change with the needs of the times.
It's like a prism. The whole story's never totally told, and each person that comes into religious life brings a different gift. And I think we always have prided ourselves on having a diversity of ministries.
The Ursuline Sisters of Youngstown have many fields of mission. While they may be best known for their traditional roles as educators, today the Ursuline Sisters have an extended diversity to their missions. The sisters have established many ministries, including a prison ministry, a music ministry. They have begun to transform the lives of prostitutes. At Casa Madre, one can see the work that is being done with children living with or affected by AIDS. The Potter's Wheel and Beatitude House, which includes residential services, provides educational assistance and empowerment to disadvantaged women and children.
I needed something in my life to change my life for the better, and I found it here.
I think in our culture we have an idea of, oh, go get a job and everything would be all right, and you come to realize how difficult that step is to move from poverty to middle class living. And in the process, as I watched their struggles and entered their pain and be that supporting arm, it certainly transforms me to be much less concerned about material things.
The Ursuline Sisters have a great deal of impact in the communities in which they serve. Almost like local heroines, the communities look to the sisters to right wrongs and sometimes take a stance on complicated issues.
Just read articles in the Vindicator, you know, being an outsider, immediately I could see any time the name Ursuline Sisters was attached to something, phone calls started coming in. The community supported it because the Ursuline Sisters of Youngstown have stood for very positive things in this city.
Generally, the sisters' work is met with a great deal of empathy and support. But the summer of 1999 saw some in the community reject the sisters' work with at-risk women at the Beatitude House and Potter's Wheel.
I think in many ways in this area, being a member of the Ursuline community is relatively socially acceptable. I can call lots of people and have doors open, and hopefully I use that for the benefit to bridge between the haves and the have-nots. But it's a pretty acceptable lifestyle choice in a community like this. And within the last 2 years, when we hit people in this area saying, we don't want you here, and standing up for what that means, I think that really touched.
Yeah.
It was, I think in many ways, a sense of maybe the first time I felt clearly that I stood up for the gospel.
Generally, there are few questions about the good the Ursulines accomplish. Instead, the confusion seems to surround another issue, an issue not about the work undertaken, but rather the commitment. How does does one decide to begin this life of service? For some, the call comes early and is powerful.
The voice of the Lord, just the call, was too strong to say no to. I think I would have, it was almost impossible not to say yes to the call. My thought was I just wanted to come to serve the Lord. It was like a service. I wanted to be part of something.
For some women, the call is received later in life.
Well, I was successful in the business world. I was in accounting, and I was happy doing what I was doing, but there was something missing. That I just was not, I guess I would say today, I would say I was not fulfilled. I did not know that vocabulary at the time. The call is from God, and we don't know. Each one of us is an individual. We are going to receive the call very differently. My experience most likely would not be another person's experience.
I wanted to do something meaningful with my life. So I was 21 when I had entered, and it is a mystery. And I don't think you can ever say, I have it, I caught it, I got it. It's deeper than that. And it's something that's alive, and it's something that happens every day. You know, you wake up in the morning and you get a chance to say, yes, I'm going to do it again today. And I'm excited about that. I would say that in all the years I've been in religious life, I have never had a boring day.
Misconceptions continue to abound about what being a woman religious in the Ursuline community entails. Are nuns subservient, oppressed, angry women silently praying in the corner? Anyone who has ever encountered an Ursuline sister, even briefly, does not likely share this view.
I don't know how you could ever say that this was a cloistered life, because we're always engaged with the world. I mean, I think, well, we were founded to be engaged in the world. We were not ever founded to be that secluded.
Some of those concepts occurred because we were all wearing the same habit, so everybody looked alike. However, even in wearing the habit, each one of us was very much an individual.
Sometimes there's a misconception that it'd be people who can't make it anywhere else. Nobody'd ever marry them. They wouldn't be good mothers. They wouldn't be good co-workers. They wouldn't be able to really make a life for themselves, you know. So you may as well send them to a convent, because at least they'll take care of them. And we'd say just the opposite. In fact, what we look for in candidates, people that want to join us, is do you already have an ability to establish and maintain relationships? You know, do you already have a network of friends and support people? Because if you do, it's a good indication you're going to fit in well with us and be able to establish contacts with us too.
The decision to make a commitment and take vows, to become a woman religious, is a journey. Some of these vows may be troubling to some women hearing the call.
I think the advantages in this lifestyle of being a vowed religious really have to do with our freedom more than what we lack. People might say, for example, that you don't have any money, but in one sense that's a real freeing experience. I don't have to worry about paying the bills. The same thing with with celibacy. Most people see it as an obstacle, but I think celibacy once again allows us a freedom to move and to enter into relationships and with many people.
It's interesting that you would ask about the fear of loss of individuality. I thought you were going to say sex. Oh, how do people live without sex? Well, we do.
And obedience. Again, I think people would see it as being a negative, whereas obedience just means that I have many more voices to listen to. The voice of the community, the voice of the superior, the voice of the other sisters, the voice of the world in terms of what I choose to do with my life. So whereas I think the perception is very confining, the vows are very confining, the vows are obstacles, I think we in religious life choose to see it just the opposite, as being very freeing to us in terms of our ability to be for others.
What fills the void, if you can call it that, of husband and children and ownership of property, I think is a a deeper love of people in general.
However, this does not mean that the sisters are without families of their own.
I've had families of thousands of people who have been a part of my life and have shared their story. Children that we've taught in elementary, high school, college level, you see them grow and change and you challenge them.
Once a woman decides to investigate religious life and then makes a serious commitment to learn more, she is invited to work and interact with the sisters. During this period of discernment, the woman is called a candidate.
For me, a candidate is just the newest member of a community and someone who's the earliest learner, or the learner with the most to learn. I've been treated as a member of the community from the very beginning. As soon as I entered, I've been very comfortable and felt like I've been a part of the community from the very beginning.
And so when a person is interested, we just try to support them, be with them, share with them, utilize the gifts, meet the family, and invite them into a loving community that has the same goal and vision that they possibly have.
You have lots of time to figure out if it's right for you, and I was given very good advice when I first decided to enter, and that advice was just do it, and if it's not for you, if it's not going to work, you'll know it and we'll all know it. It's not, it's not something you're going to be able to fool yourself about.
As the Ursuline Sisters of Youngstown continue to live the gospel, to work to better our community, our lives, and our tomorrows, it is important to remember that their community is always open to you. Joining the Ursuline Sisters of Youngstown may be your response to God's call upon your heart.
One of the things I have repeatedly said even to the sisters in my community when we've come together for prayer, I feel at the end of every day as though I've seen the face of Christ in my life.
It's a great life, and I would encourage anyone to take that first step of making the call or coming over, meeting the sisters, being with us for a meal.
What am I going to be doing in 50 years? And will I be able to feel a sense of satisfaction? Will I be able to say, God gave me some gifts and I used them to make the world a better place?
Keep thinking. God won't let you down. He will call you in due time. Just keep thinking positive. And it is the truth. God won't let you down.
Jesus, the perfect sacrifice. Jesus, the spotless Lamb. Jesus, who pleads for me in heaven, unworthy as I am, unworthy as I am, I bow down to you, giving you my life, I bow down.